What I normally do every year is kind of lay out my garden and what's going to go there, especially things that I need to grow seedlings for instead of direct sowing. So these are the beds of my home garden, but I will have to start more seeds for my cabin garden and also for the farmhouse garden. So this just gives me an idea as to what do I need first that's going to go into the garden and how many do I really need. As you can see, I'm going to be planting cabbages, chard, kale, parsley, basil. Basil is not going to go out until later. It has to wait until May. But kohlrabi I could probably plant out early, like early April probably. Same for the leeks and cabbage and so on. So these I'm going to start today. Also, I'm going to want to plant some spinach. I already planted my onions and beets. We're going to need the beets and the Swedes, rutabaga. There will be some lettuce, but I probably will wait because those grow pretty quick. And I can also direct sow them in March. Not tomatoes yet. Peppers are almost time to do peppers because they do take longer to grow than like tomatoes. So I like to do peppers late February, early March to sow them indoors. And the carrot's going to be directly sown. Let's get started. So here are my seeds that I picked out for today. I got some herbs that I'm going to plant, although I'm not sure I'm going to have space for them, but I'm going to plant some sage, parsley. I will be planting dill and rosemary. So these will just, probably I need one or two of each. And I'm going to be tucking these in between other things so they don't have their own space necessarily. And then of course I have early cabbage that I want to start, kohlrabi that I enjoy and I would like to have some of that early, celeriac. I also am going to sow those, although I still have celeriac from last year. I probably need to do a video on that to show you how that looks like. And of course, rutabaga, that's my new favorite. If you recall, I did a video on that when I was tasting it and I really liked it. So this is American Purple Top. And I'm going to make sure I have a row or two of these. So here's my coco coir mix that I mixed up like a month ago. You see how some of the seedlings that I dropped in there trying to grow? I have no idea what this is. Probably onion. For these seeds that I'm gonna plant today, I'm gonna be using 6 packs. So based on how much I'm gonna plant, some will need an entire 6 pack for each kind of seed versus some just gonna have 1 or 2 cells for themselves. What you want to do is shove the mix in as far as it goes and then keep adding to it. Make it nice and firm. All the way, almost all the way to the top, because we want to leave some space to put the seeds, and then we're going to sprinkle some more on the top of that. So I'm going to fill these up and I'll see you in a little bit. I'm going to need some markers. I always save my markers to reuse over and over. I'm going to start with those that will have their own individual 6 packs, like the rutabaga, because I would like to have a lot of these. And I'm going to be putting more than just 1 seed in each cell. I probably will put 3 in a cell. These are pretty tiny. So try to put 3 and space them. And depending on how many will come up, that will give me 18 plants, right? I might do another wave of planting anyway. So as I go, I'm gonna label them. Next, I'm gonna do the kohlrabi. Again, I need a whole 6-pack for this. Same situation, 3 per cell. They're very similar as far as the seeds, how they look. And they even look the same when they kind of tiny, so that's why we need to label them. Once we plant them out in the garden, we're probably gonna have an idea what's what, especially because I have a written plan for that. I was gonna do beets too, but I don't see that here, so let me grab that. Actually, I hope I have seeds. I did buy, oh yeah, I did forget. I did buy some new seeds this year. Here are the leeks. I think I'm gonna plant some pansies as well. Let's see, what else we need to plant today. None of these. So for the root vegetables, here's my beets. So for the beets, the way they are, each seed usually will grow at least 2, if not 3, I think, because they're kind of like pods that have multiple seeds in it, potentially. So again, I'm gonna do 3 of these guys, so I might end up with 4, 5, or 6 in each cell, but it will be fine. They can be clumped together and they still can grow. They just push each other out once they're in the ground, and they tend to like each other's company. So again, 3 per cell. I'm gonna push these in a little bit because these are some big pods, not tiny seeds like those, so they could go deeper. What else do I have to do? A whole tray, a whole 6-pack is gonna be celeriac, giant Prague celeriac. This is what I planted last year and it turned out really well. I had a whole row, and I really just ate mostly just the greens instead of celery. These are very tiny seeds, similar to lettuce. So let's see, I don't need a lot, so try to put only a few in each. The germination rate might not be as good as the other vegetables, but still I have about 5 to 10 seeds in each cell. So definitely it's gonna give me enough for a row. Okay. Next, we're gonna do the leeks. That's also gonna have a whole tray, 6-pack. This is the American flag kind. I think I got this from Walmart. These are similar to onion seeds. So what I'm gonna do is do the whole pack, which is not that much. They gave me maybe 50 seeds. I'll get that out later, but I'm gonna divide all these seeds, about 10 in each, 8 to 10 in each. Make sure that I get out the last one here. There is a couple of seeds in the corner. There it goes. And lastly, what I really want a 6-pack on is going to be cabbage. Although I'm not going to plant a lot of them, so I'm going to just do 2 per cell. Again, just counting on the fact that they're not all going to germinate. 2 or 3 per cell. That's going to be a lot of cabbage, and that's what I like. Now I'm going to sprinkle the growing mix on the top of this. Notice I'm not using my usual potting bench because I got potatoes there and other things that I store, so that's okay. We're gonna do it right here in the middle of the basement on top of my growing light setup. And all you have to do is make sure that everything is covered. Some of these seeds are black, hard to see, but just put a thin layer, especially for those small seeds. Don't need much. Again, it's just barely covered, which is most of these are small seeds except for the beets. So for the beets, I'm gonna be more generous. Cabbage gets on. Again, just make sure it's all covered, and then I'm gonna pat them down. And although this planting mix is still wet because I keep it covered, I'm gonna spray this a little bit so the seeds can kind of sink in. And also, if I missed any seeds still showing, I can see it better that way. This dirt's gonna get sort of washed down. So I'm just gonna spray them a little bit. Just like that. And I'm gonna do this probably every day for the first few days to make sure they don't dry out. I don't like to cover them with anything, so this will go down under the grow light. I'll show you this later when I'm done with this tray. So rosemary, right? Do I really need rosemary? Do I really use it? I still have rosemary from a couple of years ago, but I like to use them at my cabin to plant them because the deer is not going to eat them, and they're just ornamental. They just smell good, so I do like them. Between lavender and rosemary, I have some plants there, but I need to have more. So I'm going to do 4 cells of rosemary, and I'm just going to use everything up I have. These are perennials, so once these come out and I plant them, hopefully they're going to be there for a long time. Just going to put it there where it ends. So what do I need just a little bit of? Parsley. I really need only a cell of parsley because it's biannual and I still have from last year. I think I have 2 plants that made it. So I only need to really just have 2 or 3 the most. So I'm gonna plant 4 in one cell. These, oh, that's cilantro actually. Alright, I'm planting cilantro. I don't know where my parsley is. Maybe I'm not planting parsley. But cilantro is another thing that you can plant. But you can plant these out early, but you don't want to plant too many because you want to keep replenishing your plants. So you have constant supply. It goes to seed fast, especially when it starts warming up. So I'm just gonna do 1 cilantro, and I don't know where my parsley is. Let's see, do I have parsley? And technically I don't need parsley, but I've been talking about it, so let's see. Yes, I do have parsley, so I'm gonna plant a cell of parsley as well, right next to the cilantro. This one is an old one. And these are very tiny seeds, so I'm gonna plant 4, 5, 6 in case it doesn't take. There's another herb that I don't really use, but sage. I just find it nice to plant as ornamental. And again, the deer will not eat it, hopefully. Let's see, I had this for a long time. I don't know if I have any. What year was this? Oh, this is actually from 2023. Does it have anything in here? This is from the dollar store, so they don't give you a lot of seeds to begin with. What do you expect for a quarter, right? Is there anything in here? Here we go, I have 3 seeds. So we'll put that into this little cell. 3 seeds. I better start labeling again. Let's see, we got parsley next to the cilantro, and then we have sage in this corner. All right, next I'm gonna do some dill. Good to have dill for our cucumber canning process. So let's see, I think I'm gonna do 2 cells here. They have seeds similar to radish, I think. And then see how much we're gonna actually end up with. But if I have 10 plants out of this, I'll be happy. In there. All right, now the last thing I'm gonna plant today, only because I have limited space under my grow light today, are pansies. Pansies are something that you can plant out real early. I'm hoping I can plant these out in late April, maybe. Let's see. I think I'm gonna use up half of this packet. And these 3 cells. Maybe not that many. I really don't need that many. Maybe about 18 plants would be great. So I have about 8 to 10 seeds in each of these cells. And this, here we go. So I only used these 2 6-packs, which is fine. I'm gonna take these leftovers and I put them back into that tote that has the starter mix, and that way they're not gonna dry out for next time I need them, and I don't have to refill these ones. They'll be ready to go for me. Alright, so I'm gonna put away my leftover seeds. So I have sections here. I have the new seeds here that I need to sort through. I have an herb section. I have a cabbage section that has other type of cabbages. Then I have broccoli and cauliflower separately. I will do cauliflower next time, not today. And then I have melon, squash, and cucumbers. And then I have leafy vegetables. And then I have onions and leeks. I didn't have any leeks left. Then I have peppers. Then I have root vegetables. So kohlrabies to me are root vegetable. Rutabaga is. And of course, celeriac is a root vegetable. So that goes in there as well. So this is all my seeds. I try to save a lot of them, my own seeds, peppers, and so on. But there are some flower seeds that I saved as well. But I still tend to buy some new seeds every year because how can I not? Let's cover these guys and then we'll take a look at my setup under the grow light. So here's my grow light, the single one that works right now. And as you know, I've been growing onions and I actually have them in 2 stages. These are the latest one. These are only about 2 weeks old. These onions are a month old and I already cut them once. And you can see a video on that one, how I did that. This is the one from today. So what I was trying to do is sort of stage them so the tall ones are going to be on this end. Actually, the tall ones are going to be on this end since I already have the light set up that way. And for some of this, I don't need to have a heat mat. So I'm going to push this all the way to the end. And I'm going to have the taller onions on this end where it's higher. Like that. And then I'm going to have the shorter onions follow that. And then I'm going to have this newly planted tray. Now, these new seeds don't really need lights right now, but I'm going to have them under the light because it's on anyway, so it's not going to hurt them. And the heat just encourages them to grow faster. In the basement, it's a little bit cold anyway, colder than the rest of the house. So these are the other 6-packs that I'm going to put under the light. And now this is pretty much filled because I want these taller ones to be kind of directly under the light versus on the side where they would be searching for the light, which defeats the whole purpose, right? So bring them in here. These guys are already have been watered a couple of days ago, so I don't need to do anything with them. You can see there are a couple of them that's still too tall, but I think I'm good for now. This is my February planting. I probably will do another planting in a couple of weeks. So see you next time.